Hey there folks, Aldershot here, and today we're going to take a look at Screencheat, developed by Samurai Pumpkin, on sale on Steam at the regular price at around $15 USD. Now, you're looking at the game right now. It's a first-person shooter multiplayer game, but something that makes it really interesting is that you can't actually see other players or your opponents. In fact, the only way to really make out what the hell you're supposed to be shooting at is by looking at other people's screens. And you can see that represented all throughout the screen, right? The screen that we're playing on is the top left-hand corner. Just so you know, right now we're in capture points. So we're all facing off trying to get the points of interest, of course. So, like I said, you can't actually see the other players, which makes this game very, very interesting. It kind of goes back to the day of, say, the N64 or the PlayStation or any of those console games way back when, or maybe even Halo. When you play multiplayer games with your friends on local multiplayer, and there's always that one guy who's looking at your screen to see where you are. You know, some might call it cheating. Some might even call it screen cheating, right? Well, this game's all about that. Oh, we just lost. So, like I said, the premise is to find the other players through looking at the other screens to see where they are approximately, which is a very, very interesting. It's definitely an interesting concept for a game. Now, it's nothing new, but I'm covering it right now just because I've been playing it a little bit more recently, and I've been really enjoying it, as I have been since I started playing, like last year or something like that. But yeah, I just want to bring it to you guys' attention because it's actually pretty fun. I mean, it's nothing overly great to look at, graphically speaking, to be honest. The aesthetics is pretty simple, but the gameplay and the mechanics is extremely unique and very, very interesting. Oh, we got another player on board. Nice. Now we got a little 4-on-4. I'm still top left-hand corner, doing terribly, by the way. The game does feature multiple weapons for you to pick up as well. As you can see, right now we're using a blunderbuss, which is great. Okay, so it looks like there's some combat action going on there. So it's pretty frantic, and the whole concept of not seeing the other players definitely adds a certain element of surprise. Wow, it just totally snipered whoever the hell was over there. So it's really interesting, you know. It simply separates itself from other FPSs by the fact that you can't see the other players, right? If you remove this little gimmick, I guess you can call it that, I mean, it's a pretty bare bones FPS. But honestly, a game like this, if it had too many mechanics and too many things to consider, it'll be all the more frustrating, because you're already looking at your screen to make sure you know what you're doing on your own screen, but then you also have to look at the opponent's screen to get an approximation of where you're supposed to be shooting. And it also opens up some pretty interesting tactical strategies as well, such as, like, for example, the screen or the level is color-coded to help players guide where the other players might be from looking at their screens. But if, let's say, you look at the ceiling or the sky, that's going to make it a lot harder for the other players to coordinate where you are exactly. Of course, that leaves yourself open to obviously not being able to see where you're going, but it does leave interesting tactics like that, right? And I kind of learned these tactics through playing with some of my friends back home when we do local FPSs, that we do look at the floor, we do look at the ceiling, so that one person doesn't figure out where we are and basically, you know, cheap their way into a victory. But that person, that one person, would probably love this game, because that is the entire tactics of this game, is to, well, screen cheat, to look at other players' screens and try to shoot where they are, even though they're completely invisible. But it's pretty fun, guys, I gotta say. It's a very interesting gimmick, and there's actually a bit of a community for the game as well. Very rarely do I see this game not being played by anybody. Usually there's at least one or two games, albeit, you know, it's not going to be like the super popular game you'll see from AAA FPSs, but there's usually a couple of people playing this game at a time, which is nice, right? So it does show that this game does have at least a little bit of a community. But overall, pretty good game. Aesthetically speaking, you know, it's pretty simple looking, but obviously you're not going to be buying a game like this for its visuals. It's definitely to kind of relive, I guess, some people's childhood of dealing with that one person or maybe that couple of people who's been screen cheating when you play Halo against them. But now it's actually a part of the mechanics, so now everyone is on equal footing. Anyways, folks, I'm gonna get out here. I think you guys get the idea. It's a game, it's an FPS competitive game where you can't see the other players, but you can see their screens, okay? That's what this game is all about. Anyways, folks, I'm going to get out of here. Hopefully you folks enjoyed this. Hopefully you found this informative. If you did, you know, show me some love, like, share, fave, and comment. If you haven't already, subscribe, and I'll bring you more videos like this. Thanks for watching, guys. Alder shout out.